The desert of Keth'Ara did not forgive. It burned by day and froze by night, and the red rock canyons that stretched toward the horizon had swallowed armies whole. Ethan Cross had known this when he landed. He landed anyway. His ship, a battered Class 4 explorer named the Remora, sat half buried in orange sand behind a cluster of boulders. The engine had died 2 hours into descent. He had not planned to be here. Nobody planned to come to Keth'Ara. You either crashed here, or you ran here. Ethan had done both. He was 3 days into hiding when he heard the scream. It wasn't human. It was higher, crystalline, like shattering glass held in a throat. He had pressed himself flat against a canyon wall, hand on his sidearm, heart loud in his ears. Then he saw her. She was pinned beneath a collapsed section of rock, her silver hair splayed across the sand, her green and gold armor cracked at the shoulder. 2 of the creatures called Veth, thick-bodied, eyeless scavengers, were circling her, clicking their jaw plates together. She was trying to rise. She couldn't. Ethan didn't think. He moved. He fired twice, drove the Veth back with a flare charge, and heaved the rock off her shoulder with everything his body had left. She looked up at him with eyes the color of a dying star, violet, deep, blazing. She said nothing. She didn't need to. Her name was Lyra. He learned this over the next 2 days as he sheltered her in the belly of the Remora, cleaning the gash along her collarbone, feeding her the last of his protein packs, watching her grow stronger with a speed that unsettled him. She spoke his language with a precision that made it sound like music. She told him she was a scout, separated from her unit. She did not tell him, not yet, who her mother was. On the 3rd night, she did. My mother commands the Solvari fleet, Lyra said, sitting across from him in the dim amber light of the ship's cabin. She sent me here to assess this sector. She does not know I was ambushed. Ethan stared at her. The Solvari queen. Yes. He exhaled slowly. The Solvari were not enemies of humanity, not officially. But they were not friends either. They were something between law and legend, a civilization so advanced they regarded humans the way humans regarded birds. Curious creatures, fragile, occasionally beautiful, ultimately beneath them. She's going to come looking for you, Ethan said. Lyra met his eyes. She already is. The signal came the following morning, a low resonant pulse that made the walls of the Remora vibrate like a plucked string. Ethan stepped outside into the pale clear dawn and saw it. A vessel descending from the clouds, enormous and silent, shaped like a blade turned sideways, its hull the color of pale bone. When Queen Seraphine stepped onto the sand, Ethan understood immediately why entire civilizations bent their knees to her. She was Lyra, but magnified, older, colder, more absolute. Her silver hair was pinned beneath a crown of woven light. Her gold and white armor caught the sunrise and threw it back twice as bright. She walked toward him like the land itself owed her passage. She stopped 6 feet away. Her eyes moved to Lyra first, scanning, assessing, confirming she was whole. Then they moved to Ethan. They did not warm. Human, she said. Her voice was low and even, the kind of voice that had ended negotiations and started wars. You sheltered my daughter. Yes, Ethan said. You tended her wound. Yes. You fired on the Veth that cornered her. Yes. A silence stretched between them, dry as the desert air. Then you have my acknowledgement, Seraphine said. And my warning. Do not interpret proximity to Solvari royalty as invitation. Do not mistake gratitude for permission. My daughter lives by our law, not by the sentiments of rescued moments. Ethan held her gaze. I'm not asking for permission for anything, Your Majesty. I kept her alive. That's all. Seraphine studied him for a long moment. Behind her, 2 armed Solvari soldiers watched from a distance, still as statues. Good, she said at last. Then we are finished here. She turned to Lyra, and something passed between them, a look so precise and layered it could have filled a book. Lyra's jaw tightened. She did not lower her eyes. Mother, Lyra said, I will return to the fleet. But I choose when. Seraphine paused. You choose nothing that conflicts with. He saved my life. Lyra stepped forward. Not because of duty. Not because of protocol. Because he chose to. In 3 days, I have spoken more truth with this man than in 3 years aboard your fleet. Her voice did not shake. I am not defying you. I am telling you who I am becoming. The Queen's expression did not crack. But something moved behind her eyes, deep and tectonic, a shift no one else would have noticed. She looked at Ethan again. Longer this time. You are aware, she said to him quietly, of what it means if she stays. I'm aware it would cost her something, Ethan said. Which is why I would never ask her to. Seraphine was silent for 3 full seconds. Then she turned to her soldiers. Return to the ship. Prepare departure for 2 hours hence. She looked once more at her daughter, a look that was, for just a moment, not the Queen's look but a mother's. 2 hours, Lyra. She walked back toward the vessel without another word. Lyra exhaled. Ethan watched her, the tension leaving her shoulders, her chin lifting. She didn't stop you, he said. No. Lyra almost smiled. She never stops what she knows she cannot hold. They sat together on the hull of the Remora as the Keth'Ara sun climbed higher and the canyon walls turned from red to gold. Lyra did not speak about love. She didn't need to. She spoke instead about the stars she'd mapped, the planets she'd catalogued, the loneliness of moving through the universe with nothing to orbit. Ethan told her about Earth. About rain. About the particular smell of a city after a thunderstorm. She listened to every word like she was memorizing it. When the 2 hours ended, she stood. She touched his hand, just once, lightly, a contact so brief it might have been wind. I will find you again, she said. Not because my mother permits it. Because I will. She walked toward the ship. She did not look back, because she didn't need to. Looking back was for people who doubted what they were walking toward. Ethan watched the vessel rise, slow and soundless, until it was a white shape against blue sky, and then only sky. He stood in the desert a long time after. Then he went back inside the Remora, sat down, and began repairing his engine. He had somewhere to be now. He just didn't know the coordinates yet. He would.